From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed. Canada's military has flown over Gaza and dropped 10,000 kilograms of aid to Palestinians in the territory, where the Prime Minister is warning of a deteriorating humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, witnesses and local health officials in Gaza say dozens of Palestinians were killed or wounded as desperate crowds headed toward food distribution points and airdropped parcels. The United Nations and aid groups are calling such aid drops costly and dangerous for residents. They say they deliver far less aid than trucks do. Mark Carney says Canada is intensifying its efforts with international partners to develop a peace plan and ensure aid reaches Palestinians. Last week, Carney announced Canada would officially recognize a state of Palestine, citing Israel's aid restrictions and the need to preserve a path to a two-state solution as long as Palestine undertakes serious reforms. Global Affairs Canada is calling on Israel to end its ongoing aid restrictions, calling it a violation of international law. The BC Wildfire Service says the Wesley Ridge wildfire on Vancouver Island has grown to more than 5 square kilometers, now considered a wildfire of note. A fire information officer says numerous fire departments are on the island converging on the blaze to protect properties around Cameron Lake.
The goal is minimizing growth towards Highway 4 and maintaining safe travel along the highway. The southern edge of the wildfire burning along Cameron Lake is burning in very tough and challenging terrain with large amounts of timber and large amounts of fuel available. Structure protection specialists, structure protection teams, and crews are in place to protect properties and values situated along Cameron Lake.
A small amount of rain is expected midweek, but dry conditions along the BC coast and on Vancouver Island continue. The director of Nanaimo's Emergency Operations Center says over 400 evacuees have received emergency supports so far. Meanwhile, in Newfoundland, a wildfire burning in the eastern part of the province has forced the evacuations of a number of small communities. A 150-hectare blaze continues to burn on the west side of Conception Bay, now 1 kilometer from a group of communities in the towns of Small Point. Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe is speaking out against artificial intelligence-generated deepfakes circulating online. Moe's likeness has been used in online video ads for cryptocurrency schemes that he says he would never endorse. Moe says his government is doing its best to find the people behind the videos, but adds it can be difficult to prevent the scams. The province's consumer watchdog is warning the public about the scams, urging people not to send money to companies that aren't registered in the province. And Canadian researchers have solved a 12-year mystery of a sea star wasting disease. The gruesome disease has killed billions of sea stars, also known as starfish, along the Pacific coast of North America. More than a decade after the die-off, researchers have found a strain of bacteria that was abundant in diseased sea stars and absent in healthy ones. After spending months trying to disprove their findings, the researchers ultimately confirmed they had cracked the code of the disease. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are on the road tonight in Colorado to take on the Rockies. The American League East leading Blue Jays look to get out of their slump facing the MLB worst Rockies, having lost 6 of their last 8 games. Toronto's Victoria Mboko looks to continue her run through the National Bank Open when she takes on Jessica Buzas-Monero in the quarterfinals tonight in Montreal. The 18-year-old Mboko is coming off a straight sets win over top seed and world number 2 Coco Gauff. World number 3 and top-seeded Alexander Zverev takes on defending champion and 18th seed Alexei Popyrin in the quarterfinals of the National Bank Open in Toronto tonight. Fans will be given limited edition hats to celebrate Psycho Bunny Night at Sobeys Stadium. And the Canadian women's soccer team will play 2 matches against Japan in Nagasaki during the November FIFA international window. Canada is ranked 9th in the world and will face number 8 Japan on November 29th and December 2nd. From the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.